everybody. I am Paget Brewster, and I'm filling in for Kevin Pollak today, who is out of town promoting a movie or a miniseries, something very fancy. And I'm starting off with 2 emails that they have received. Kevin and crew. Now, you can't say I don't write in the opening. How the fuck are ya? I am great. Pretty new listener of the show via the podcast, and I just have to say you are a delight to my ears during long days of delivering the mail. Love the guests and the banter, so the subject line says it all. I unfortunately am not clever enough to think of a Larry King game, but I will do better in trying to think of something funny. Keep it up. Fuck jury duty. Nick Tucker. Nice work, Nick. Here's another one. Another email. I have another Larry King game for your consideration. A chance meeting with Stanley at a gay bathhouse caused me to become the inspiration for Spider-Man's J. Jonah Jameson. Rabbit Hash, Kentucky, what's your question? That's pretty good. I doubt you make shirts in my size, 7XL, but I would be very happy with a 2XL for my wife. I am a continuing huge fan of the show. Thank you for all the fun and interesting discourse. Does he get a shirt?
Yes, he does.
Ah, congratulations. Yeah. Nice work. Now, my guest today is Timothy Omundson. I'm sure you know him. He's King Richard on Galavant, one of the greatest shows on ABC ever. He also was on Psych for how many years? 8? Jeez Louise hoppers. And then how long was it between Psych and Galavant? You've been all over the place. You've been guest starring, and you did movies, and you've done video game voices and animated film voices, but between Psych and Galavant, how many years were there?
A few months.
Oh, immediately into another show.
I was very lucky.
Fancy pants. That's impressive. That's not how it worked for me. All right, hold on. Sometimes I need glasses. I'm going to start with this. Omundson was born in St. Joseph, Missouri, to a railroad worker father and teacher mother. Come on.
Americana.
That sounds fake. It sounds like some Depression era lie.
We grew up on ration cards.
Did you really?
No.
Okay, tell me about Missouri.
I have no idea. We left when I was 1. I don't even know why that's
so
in
nothing.
there.
Why is that in there?
I don't know.
It sounds good.
That's a 14-year-old bio. We moved to Seattle when I was 1. So
I see. So you're from the Pacific Northwest?
Seattle, yes.
I see. And how was Seattle? You were there until you were?
18.
18. But you started going to acting school when you were 12?
Yes. I started taking classes at the Seattle Children's Theater.
How did you know at 12 you wanted to? Where did you get the bug for? You never wanted to be a fireman or a lawyer?
I think when I was in 5th grade, I wanted to be a singer. I didn't know what that was. I just wanted to be a famous musician. I don't know how. I don't play really anything.
Interesting.
But 6th grade, we did a play that 5th grade, the end of 5th grade. I'd given up on the music rock star thing. And
By 5th grade?
By 5th grade.
You put your all into it.
It's not gonna work anymore. I was just trying, I had a crush on a girl, she'd like me if I was a rock star. And it didn't work out. And we did play, and I think there was a puppet show involved. I don't know, but I did a voice for a puppet show. And I remember a teacher going, "Oh, you're good at that." And I wasn't really good at anything. And it was the first time someone, "Oh, you're good at that." And I went, "Really?" And in 6th grade, our class wrote a play because one of the parents was a playwright. It was dreadful, but I was the butler that did it.
Aww.
And by the end of 6th grade, I discovered the Bellevue School District Children's Theater, and I went up for the play. It was Oliver. I went up for The Artful Dodger. I did not get it.
Oh.
To this day, it still hurts.
Still hurts.
I shit you not.
It hurts them more now, looking back on the failure to cast you as the Artful Dodger.
Yeah, they were probably right.
They're all watching you on Galavant feeling terrible. That's one of the best parts about being an actor.
They don't remember the townsmen that they
do.
Okay, well, anyway. And then it was 7th grade drama class where it was a proper school drama class, and I don't know. I loved it. I loved getting to be other people and come up with silly voices and do things. And then around that time, I'd sort of quickly maximized what I felt that could offer me, like a junior high school drama class. And Seattle has a really vibrant, wonderful theater community. Seattle Children's Theater is a big part of that, and they've got an excellent training program. And I started taking classes there. I first started in lighting because I was too sort of shy to get. I don't know. I was too insecure. Something to get into. I'm not going to jump right into the acting.
Really?
How dare I?
Huh.
So I started doing lighting, and then I went, okay, I want to do that, and I started taking classes.
So this was aside from. Was this a performing arts high school?
No, I went to a regular high school.
You went to a regular high school, and then you were also part of this theater.
Just taking classes
training.
at Seattle Children's Theater.
Okay. All the way through till the end of high school?
Sort of, yeah. Yeah, I did, in 1985, I was part of something called the Young Actors Training Program, which was their really intensive. They started like a proper intensive program that subsequently, like not Adam Sandler. I'll come up with the name in a second. He's a friend of mine. Ethan Sandler, who's a wonderful performer and actor and writer. Who our kids go to school together. Turns out he was the class just behind me. So some people, I don't know, some people I'm friends with now know that came from this program, and did all that. Decided by 16, it's really what I wanted to do. And I said to my dad, if you have a talent, you don't use it, then you don't get to say you have a talent. And he went, yep. So shockingly. And
so this is a railroad worker, supported
railroad
your
worker sounds
desire.
Right. Dad worked for the Rock Island Railroad, and my father was a very interesting man. He was from Iowa, and Depression era. And in order to basically get the hell out of this small town, he started learning Morse code in exchange for sweeping out the depot. And he was for a while, he was the station agent where, back then, in the 40s, well, late 40s, early 50s, you'd have a guy out in the middle of nowhere who's got to switch the tracks, or I don't know, whatever the hell a station guy does. And Dad was the relief person, so he would go out in the middle of fucking nowhere. But he learned Morse code to what end? For what? Was this to send messages? As a trade, just to get the hell out of town. And then started working for the railroad in various capacities, and eventually went into sales for the railroad, for various railroads across the country, and was a traveling salesman in sort of, I guess, Washington, Montana, Idaho, a little bit of California. But what it turns out is he was really a frustrated musician.
Oh, so when you said you wanted to pursue acting, he was able to recognize that was, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And one of the last thing he ever saw me do was Galavant, which was, he loved it.
That's outstanding.
There's a lot of times he'd watch something and go, that was a good program. That was a little weird. Didn't care for Psych. It's it was a little weird, that one. But anyway, so
I'm glad he got to see that.
So yes, as am I.
A lot of singing, a lot of music.
Which was crazy for,
So sorry, then at 16 you
said
to your dad, this is what I want to do. And then you were applying to acting colleges, I'm guessing?
Yes, I interned at theaters in Seattle summer before my senior year of high school. I went to New York to take the summer program at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and applied to one college.
The American Academy of Dramatic Arts?
No, I applied to USC for theater school.
Oh, but you ended up going to...
I went to USC. I took a summer program when I was still in high school.
I misunderstood that in my
I probably
flawless
mumbled it.
Research.
Yes. So that was it. There was, throughout high school though, I did all the plays, did all the musicals, and was also doing something. I was doing debate, but a weird offshoot of debate called dramatic interpretation and humorous interpretation, HI or DI for those in the know. And you stand up and you do a scene doing both characters. It's rather schizophrenic. Yeah, you get up in front of people and blah, 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 blah. And my sophomore year, my first year of high school, I did it, and I did Death of a Salesman. I did.
So you're doing scenes. You're not reenacting famous debates.
You're
But this is part of a debate.
It's part of forensics. It's a weird. I don't know why it is, but it falls under the umbrella of the National Forensic Society.
So you did a scene from Death of a Salesman, both parts.
Yes. So I would do Biff, and then I'd do Willie, and Biff and Willie, back and forth, and sort of switching characters. And I won state my sophomore year, and in dramatic and turf, and then I won fourth in state in humorous and turf at the same time. So suddenly, it was this incredible validation that
you had a gift.
you can do this. And now they have like scene competitions and acting competitions. Apparently, thought
I didn't know this. I never even heard of this.
Yeah, it was great. And then I kept doing that, and won state again my next year, and so it was really. I was a state champion.
How many years in a row did you win?
I did 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row, you won each year.
I did not win. I took second in state my senior year because by then I was busy doing.
Oh, you were busy working.
I was busy doing other things. I was playing Sky Masterson. I for the fun. I was like, I had to go. I mean,
you had a job.
I had a job.
Yeah.
I was doing Sky Masterson in high school. I was doing the college show. The high school show. So the point is, this whole time through high school, I was getting this validation
that it was what you and you wanted to pursue it, and
I wanted to pursue it, and it's the only thing I ever wanted to do.
So then, when you graduate from USC, where do you go?
I stayed in LA. I fancied myself a very serious. I stopped doing musicals because I wanted to do Shakespeare, and I wanted to do, and I had a great college career. Like I likened it to an athlete. It was a great college career. I had a great college career as an actor. Like I got great leads. I got to do main stage stuff right away. So again, it was all this encouragement of like, you can do this and you can be successful. For a kid who grew up not thinking he was good at anything, that was the one thing. And we did a showcase, like you do when you get out of school. You do a showcase for agents, and I got a card from a manager, and I got an agent, and then I didn't get anything.
There has to be some. Please.
No, I got it.
Let there be some, some hardship.
William Morris. Straight out of college, I got from
right into William Morris.
Right into William Morris.
But then nothing would happen. Wait, you had a manager and William Morris agent?
I had a manager and a William Morris agent.
Wowee. And
Laura Kennedy, who's now head of feature casting at Warner Brothers, who I adore to this day. She's just a wonderful woman. She took me in. She was like, "Okay, let's try it." She was like, "I want you. There's no way they're going to let me do it."
Right.
Yeah, the rest of the agency, because I, floppy hair, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was definitely not a commercial model type guy.
Okay, what year is this?
This is 91.
91. Where are you living in LA?
I'm down on Houston and Melrose in a little house I was renting with a friend.
My God, at least you had a roommate at some point.
Yeah.
All right, now, where it goes south, what happens? No jobs, nothing, you go on auditions? What?
No jobs. The ridiculous thing is this manager had, for some reason, he had a lot of juice, and he got me in the door. Like, I was reading for Milos Forman, I read for Barry Levinson, like straight to feature, great supporting roles, nothing. And I sort of had no business being there, because I didn't have any clue what working in front of a camera was about.
Yeah, no one teaches it.
And it took me a year to unlearn everything I learned in theater school to get a job. And and I'm waiting tables, and I'm working Johnny Rockets on Melrose.
Yes!
So I wasn't waiting tables, I was working a counter. I was working a burger counter.
At Johnny Rockets?
At Johnny Rockets, singing, because they used to sing at Johnny Rockets.
Is that a thing where...
Yep.
How do you start singing? I don't know, not just
like,
Happy Birthday, like people started singing.
There was always like 50 stuff going on. I'd do a mean Bobby Darin just because it was...
I believe it.
Sinatra, all that stuff would play, so they wanted you to sing and entertain a little bit.
So at least you got to do that.
So I got to do that.
You're enjoying that.
I was enjoying that, and then...
But how did you unlearn what you learned in acting school? How did you learn how to act on camera? Are there classes for that I just don't know about?
There are. They didn't...
They didn't
offer
have
any at
them
the
then.
time.
Yeah.
No, which is a thorn in my side. Sticks in
Honestly,
my
I don't know
crossbow.
if anyone. The only thing I ever found, ever. Now there are books about it. I don't know if there are classes about it, but I found a tape called Michael Caine acting on film.
Yeah, what I do, always, come here, right? I look. You look in the eye, closest to the camera.
I don't blink.
Don't blink.
You don't
ever,
blink,
Don't
ever.
ever blink.
You'll notice in Alfie
How do I get to that mark? What I do, I go to the mark.
if
I say the lines, walking backwards,
this is.
and then I know just how many steps it's going to
He
take
said-
me to get out.
I do it all the time. I do it all the time. If my mark is there, what he does is he says, "This is the greatest thing ever."
Do it.
It's only available. Hold on, I got a VHS tape from a guy in Michigan on eBay. It was 1983.
Yep.
The BBC did a series of specials about the performing arts. They have opera. Michael Caine's was acting on film. It was in 1983. If your mark's over there, you have to hit your mark so that you can be in focus on camera. He says, if I'm going to say a line now, I'm on my mark. So I'll go from here. I know how long I'm gonna walk. And he's right.
Yep.
And no one else was teaching, like, look at that eye. I mean, I blink. I don't do the don't blink. But he has a great thing in there. Do the stuntman speech.
I don't remember the stomach.
Where he's like, you do it. He says, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna tell you that it's $15,000 and you're gonna fall, you know, they can't redo this. You only get one take on this stunt. You're gonna fall through this hole. There's gonna be snakes and live electrical wires. And we only have one chance to shoot it. And he says, this is what you do. You say, you do it. He says, if I do it and I get injured, we shut down. No one gets paid. If I'm the lead actor and I get injured, I go to the hospital. No one gets paid for a week or two while I recover. So fuck them. They have to show me that it's safe and then I'll do it, which is ballsy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like I only recently have been able to say to someone, you do it, you show me.
Well, it's also so much times the ego gets involved. Like, I could do that. I can ride a horse. I could fall. Wait, fall from there to there. I could do
Wait,
that.
now, did you know how to ride a horse?
I did know how to ride a horse,
Oh.
but I'm not good at falling from there to there. I'll kill myself.
Did you hurt yourself on Galavant?
No.
Oh, good.
No,
When was
I
the
didn't.
last time you hurt yourself professionally?
I fell on Psych. I had broken my collarbone previously I was riding my bike in Vancouver just before work. I'd gone to the gym, obviously, and thought, hey, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to go do my cardio outside. I'm going to ride my bike. And I was on a mountain bike, and I passed a mound of something and went, oh, that'll be fun to go over when I come back. And I just went way too fast and crash.
And it snapped?
Just
They can't really do that much for that, can they? Don't they just
nothing to
they
do.
just punch it back into place and then it has to heal that way?
Yeah. And they were like, they're going to do surgery to plate it. And friend was like, do not put a plate, just don't.
Ugh.
And I was working up there and I couldn't get home. Anyway, it just had healed. I'd just gotten out of a sling. It was in the middle of an episode, so suddenly I show up in a sling in the middle of an episode.
Were they pissed?
They never addressed it. No, they were like, we don't care.
They never
They
the
never
character?
addressed it.
Wait, so your character's now in a sling?
Yeah, he's in a sling for like
and no
3
one
episodes.
brings it up.
Nope. And
Okay, so you heal from this,
So
and
here from
what?
this, it just gets out of the sling, and I'm running after this guy because I'm a tough cop, and he's like a parkour kid who's jumping over stuff and spinning. And the director goes, "You can run, right?" I'm like, "Yes, I can run. Of course I can run. I'm in the prime of my life, fit, virile man. I can run." And in the very last take, this guy flips over a table. Before it's like he would jump over it and I'd run around it, and this time he flips it over. And as I'm running, this is going through my head. Oh, he flipped it over. I'm not going to run around it. I can jump over it. No, don't jump over it. That's dangerous. Step on it and then continue to run. What I didn't realize is there was an apple crate on top of the table that when it got flipped over, it was resting on an apple crate. So I stepped essentially on a teeter-totter at full run and went right onto my broken shoulder.
No.
And it's in slow motion. They for some reason
They shot it in slow-mo?
They shot this thing in slow motion, and I go my face hits the ground, the Ray-Bans comes flying off, and in the split second, I go, I'm down. I probably just re-broke my shoulder. Get up and keep running because I know they're filming and you don't want to start crying on camera.
Oh my God.
And you can see me, and I'm just enraged. I literally, you can see my mouth start going, mother, as I go past. And I just keep running past camera, and I keep running past the crew, and I run like another 25 yards to where our chairs are, and I just sit down and just go, oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Can I have some ice, please? And the producer run over like, what the fuck? I'm like, just don't talk to me right now. I did not re-break it though, but that was.
Thank God. Or you would have just gone back in the cast that would
Just-
never have brought attention to it, and you would have been.
No.
Wow. Have you seen that footage, the slow-mo
Oh, yeah.
footage of you?
Because they used it.
They used it?
Absolutely, they used it. Like, this is too good.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and occasionally people on Twitter will be like, "What do you have a sling? Was that?" It's like mountain lion attack. Or just,
Oh, see, I know. I wish I had some scar on my shin, and I don't know where I got it. I was a kid, and I so want to have the courage to tell someone it's like from a stingray attack or something.
I had
It's
an
just a
uncle
mystery scar.
whose finger was missing, and he was a teacher, and like in 7th grade teacher, and kids were always like, Mr. Fennec, there's Mr. Bator, what? He was like, cougar.
Cougar.
He would just go, cougar.
And it was this finger?
Yep, cougar attack. He lost it in my other Uncle Sawmill, which is a more interesting
Ooh.
story. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
He worked in the sawmill, and he bzzzt.
Yep.
That's
Lumberjacks and coal miners.
Disgusting. I do prefer the.
Wait, speaking of injuries, you got a little flashback recently, didn't you? A little pop something.
I did. That is actually a good scar. And now it doesn't
Is there
even.
a scar
I
for
did.
it?
No, not really, because I was very diligent and I put Mederma on it and scarred. I was guest starring on Criminal Minds, and I was shooting a gun,
Glock.
a Glock with the shell casings in it that are half loads.
Mm-hmm.
So there is gunpowder in there, but you're not shooting
Half
a
load's not
projectile.
nothing.
And it flew up in the air and landed between the safety glasses, which in TV you don't want them flush to your face because you want to see as much of your eyeballs as
I
possible.
watched this episode. This is the scene
did?
where
Yeah, I'm
you
shooting
are,
at the shooting range. Go, go,
Yes,
go, go.
and you're very in the.
Yeah, yeah, and the wardrobe woman put me in a camouflage sweater, and then the writer was livid. He was so pissed later. He was like, "I said no to that camouflage sweater," and it burned into the arm of the glasses and my cheek. So I do have, but it's the perfect scar.
You could have sued
I did
them
cover.
for
I know.
that?
No, I talked to them. And I said, "Hey, can you fill out all the paperwork so if I need to go for workman's comp, like go to a skin doctor?" And I just thought, because even the medic came over, Sabrina came over, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna want to see a plastics guy," which I feel like I've never heard that phrase ever, a plastics guy. And I was like, "What do you mean? No, I don't. I don't
face, my beautiful
a plastic guy." But it's right here. It's like where you get the fake scar in movies, where you get a cut, like The
Sure.
Rock gets a cut right here, and there's just a little bit of blood.
Because that's where you took. That's where you took the.
Because the shell casing landed
No, but
like
that's
that.
where you would take the hit.
I guess so,
They
yeah.
get you right on the
So
cheekbone.
yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, I
You
love
were on
it.
Criminal Minds
I was.
before I was there. What was that like?
Weird.
Why? Mandy was there.
Mandy was there. He did not say a word to me.
It might have been one of those days
He
or
was
weeks.
or weeks. He was having one of those weeks.
Mm-hmm. You'd been acting for a while at this point. Hold on, let me reference my notes. Because your first job, I'm going to get back to Criminal Minds.
Right.
Nice misdirect, by the way. You got me talking about my face scarred. Your first job was Seinfeld?
What the hell?
I know. What the hell?
I mean, I had been auditioning for, it wasn't a year, it was 8 months and just not getting anything. And sort of almost getting things, but nothing. And I went in for the Seinfeld television program, which I had never seen. Maybe it was season 3, maybe 4, I don't know. Heard of it, knew about it. It was 3 lines.
Mm-hmm.
They were, don't have one. Yes. John Cheever, Dad, you, and John Cheever. That was it. Those are the lines. Got straight to producers, which was very nice. Meaning, instead of having to audition for a casting director, then I got to skip a step I think. And it's all a bit of a blur, but I believe Larry David was there, director's there. And I think the director said to Larry, do you want to explain the scene? Because they just give you the one page. You have no idea what's going on. He goes, no, let's just do it. So there's no explanation. I just did the lines, and whatever I did was funnier, I guess, or more amusing than what the redheaded guy, who was also going in for it, did. And I got the job, and I got to set, and went, oh, well, they'll explain it to me on set, obviously. And I get to it's a Radford, CBS Radford, and I go on set. I'd never been on a soundstage before. Just excited as could be.
Are you kidding?
Just most exciting day of my life. And I go to the craft service area, which is where they have the food and the coffee and the
Free
donuts
food
and all that stuff.
all day.
And a big industrial coffee pot,
Right.
coffee maker. And of course, I'm a waiter in real life. So they're out of coffee. It's a natural reflex. You take the basket, you dump the grinds, you
Open a little bag. Put
and
the
I
thing
so I started making coffee.
Uh-huh.
Craft service guy comes over and is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, you're out of coffee. I was making coffee." He's like, "No, that's my job." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." I've arrived. I get to set and no one's telling me anything. They have no time to give the kid with 3 lines any direction, and so I'm just going, "What the hell am I doing? How do I do this?" And I'm just watching. It's a scene with Jason Alexander. Jerry has my lines are with Jason. Grace Zabriskie.
Oh, wow. Grace Zabriskie. Yeah.
Zabriskie is my mom, and I knew who she was, and obviously I knew who Jason was, and they were all very nice, but no one was telling me what to do or how to do it. And the character, Jason comes in. I'm his fiance's little brother, Ricky. I say, "Oh, that's my little brother, Ricky, home from college." I'm sitting reading paper, my floppy hair, and probably the same earring, and clean shaven. He goes, "Oh, you're in college. What do you study? Or what's your major?" And the original line was, "I don't know."
Okay.
"Well, you should try podiatry. It's always great history and feet." And he touches me, and I do the psych gag, and Mom comes in and yells something, and we realize Dad's having an affair with John Cheever, and I say the lines, and that was it. So his first line is, "I don't know." I'm like, okay, he's dumb. I'll just play him dumb. That's all I have to go on. No one's explaining this character.
Right.
They're like, it doesn't work. Try it, try don't have one. And I'm like, this is just before we're taping. I'm like, you've just changed my entire character. You've changed my entire motivation for the scene. I don't know what the hell I'm doing now. And like, who is he now? How am I gonna say these lines? And the guy playing my dad was a very grumpy asshole on the character. I'm like, apple doesn't fall far. I'm a grumpy asshole. And that was it. And the show ended, and I was like, that it. And
so you're not shooting in front of a live audience on Seinfeld?
No, it was a live audience.
It was a live audience.
Yeah.
So that adjustment happened while you were shooting in front of an audience, and now you have to.
Yeah.
Hey, great work.
Job.
Like now you could do it without thinking about it,
Sure.
but your first job
on
an NBC sitcom that I think in year 3 was very
massive.
big. Yeah. Is terrifying.
Thinking I'm gonna get fired because I still don't know how I got the job. I didn't, and then the next day I went back to Johnny Rockets on Melrose serving hamburgers and fries and did not understand why the heavens weren't singing for me. It's like as you're putting a plate of fries down and going, "Oh, what's in the red sauce?" "Well, it's just like spicy ketchup." Why don't you know I'm famous?
You really felt you were? Did you really feel that
but
way?
it was just no. But there was something like, wait, it just happened. I just got my SAG card. I just got my card.
Wow.
And it's happening, but how can this be happening? I'm back.
And I'm still waiting tables.
And then that was sort of the cycle for.
Okay, so then here I'm gonna check this out. I'm just gonna look at this. Okay, so then you do here. Look at this though. Here you do 4 episodes of. Stop me if you want to talk about something. Sequest DSV. Oh, Married with Children. I saw that taped when I moved here. I watched a taping of that one night before I was working. And that thing ran like a machine.
They knew what they were doing.
Did you enjoy that experience?
I had one line. No.
One line? Bartender. He was the bartender in the episode No Ma'am.
Which starred Jerry Springer.
Oh gosh, really?
Mm-hmm. So
wow.
You want another line?
Yeah.
Here we go, Ray. Who's that guy?
How do you remember? Do you remember all your lines?
Those were early. Those were embedded in there.
Because it was so early and you were so excited.
I remember my opening speech to Sequest.
Your opening speech to Sequest? How much time do we have?
What
is it about?
Carstification.
What?
We are dealing with karstification.
Crustification?
Karstification. Terrain pockmarked by sinkholes. Millions of years ago, the continental shelf was below sea level.
You remember that?
I remember that opening speech. That's all I remember of it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I don't remember anything. George Carlin's show. Aw. Was he nice?
He was lovely.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Days of Our Lives.
Oof.
What? That's like acting camp.
For me, it was bad acting camp for me.
Well, it's hard because you have to memorize a whole show
I didn't have a
in
lot
one
to
night.
do. I just was bad.
You just were bad?
Just bad. I don't know what I was doing.
So you're still learning. Hey, it's only 1994, you guys, of course. You don't know enough yet. Medicine Ball. I don't even know what that is.
Nobody else does, but that was wonderful.
Why?
That was the guys. Let's go back to Sequest. So Sequest was my, I think, second job, and I remember. I think I was on a lot. I was maybe on the Radford lot. I'd come from an audition, and checked in with my manager. Didn't have a beeper, didn't have a pager, but just I would go to payphone and check in.
Right.
He was like, "You got the job." Bill's from Texas. "You got the job. It's not a lot of money. It's gonna be 3 days. It's gonna be $1,500." And I was like, $1,500?
Right, I know.
Jesus Christ! And so I went in for Sequest, which was a big deal show on NBC. It was Roy Scheider.
Oh, that's right.
Spielberg produced it. It was how do they say it?
That's right.
It was a submarine.
I was still bartending when you were shooting.
Where were you bartending?
In San Francisco. Keep talking.
Okay. That's where I learned on the job, because
On Sequest.
On Sequest, it was supposed to be like 1 episode, and it ended up being 4.
Oh, so they liked you and they kept bringing you back.
They kept bringing me back, and that sort of became an MO for me. But it was this group of young actors, for the most part, and I was just a guest star coming in for, a day or two, and then ended up being. I remember like the first day, one of them was like, "I'm hearing good things about you." I'm like, "Really? Fuck, I don't know what to think." So it was supposed to be a show about military versus science on this submarine, and an actress, a British actress named Stephanie Beacham, was playing the chief science officer, and it was supposed to be. She and Roy were supposed to be loggerheads, and she liked me and said, "Why don't you hire this kid?" Because I was the scientist. I was the hippie scientist. Hire this kid, give him the big speeches, and let me act. And that's what they did.
Wow.
So I became Dr. Joshua Levin, the explainer, and I would breeze in and I would give exposition about karstification. Which,
wow!
Because I had done a lot of classical theater in school,
you could
I
do
could
a monologue.
handle that. I could handle monologues. I could handle monologues of weird words and make them make sense.
This is extremely difficult having this job, audience. If you have this job, you're the pipe layer.
Yep.
For an ensemble show, you're the one that has to give the whole speech explaining what everything is and who everyone is and what you need and what you're afraid of. It's really hard. But you had a knack for it,
Yeah.
and she recognized that, said, "I don't want to lay all this fucking pipe. Get the kid to do it, and you get a part out of it," which is great.
And that was great. And,
that's fantastic.
But I
Worked out for
was
you.
doing a scene with Mr. Scheider, and this small capsule, and he literally went, "Hey kid, you don't have to project. You got a microphone taped to your chest."
Oh my God, because you were thinking of like Shakespeare.
I'm blah 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 blah.
No!
Doing my best classical theater voice.
Oh, how
He's like,
embarrassing.
but truly, I was like, "Fuck, thank you, Mr. Scheider." I had no idea. Stephanie Beacham taught me how to do off camera, because there'd be, you're the actor, camera's here, you're looking at me, explaining this to you lovely people out there, and you make it look like. And I didn't want to distract her, so I was doing it over here. She said, "No, darling, put your face right next to the lens, right there." I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes." It was a godsend because I was able to learn on the job. And it was a big enough ensemble.
And nice people about
nice
it too.
people.
Not someone saying, "You idiot, how did you even, why can't you hit your fucking mark?"
Not
Like,
even,
it is scary.
Yes, not even nice people, but this group of young actors who are on the show are still some of my closest friends.
Well, that's
Like,
great.
literally my closest friends.
Wow.
Because they were just such a lovely group of guys. Marco Sanchez, Ted Raimi, Donna Franklin, Eddie Kerr. They took me in and made me feel immediately comfortable because they were all my age. They just happened to get the golden ticket for that job and were regulars. So that was a lovely experience. But
that's great.
The guys who wrote that character, John Sackmar, Carrie Lanhart, went on to write Medicine Ball. I remember walking down Gower. It's weird, but you remember walking down Gower, running into them, and the show shot in Universal on the other side of the hill. I was like, what are you guys doing here? It's like, oh, we just pitched a show. How loyal are you to Sequest? I went, I'm as loyal as the next guy without a contract.
Yeah.
Why? He goes, we want you to be in the show. And they wrote my first regular part, which was this show called Medicine Ball, which was...
Now, did you shoot a pilot or did you go to series?
We shot 9 whole episodes.
9?
It shot in Seattle.
Oh.
Hometown, local boy does good.
Oh.
Brought me home.
Right.
It was amazing. It was this really lovely, clever dramedy. It was one of the first dramedies along the lines of Northern Exposure. It was that sort of period. It was a medical drama, a medical show.
Don't go too crazy in depth on Medicine Ball because only 9 episodes. I got to get to shows that people are going to remember and be excited about.
The great Hollywood tragedy of that one is we were in production right around the same time. A little show called ER and another show called Chicago Hope were in production, and they went up first, and then we were.
Oh, I'm sorry.
George Clooney said I was good at one point.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Where'd you meet George?
He was. He had dated one of my co-stars.
Sure.
And
probably more than one.
And probably. And he had seen it with her, and it might have been Jones, I believe it was. And he said to my wife, he's like, "Oh yeah, I saw your show. It's good. Your husband's good. Show's not gonna go." She's like, "Why?" He goes, "Because I'm doing a show called ER."
Oh God.
but he was just like, "It's not gonna go." But kid's good.
But still, that's still learning. That's still learning on the job. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Frasier. I want to hear about Frasier. You were on Frasier in 1998 in an episode entitled "Good Grief." Do you remember that?
I do.
Was it live audience?
Live audience.
Multicam.
Second time I'd done multicam.
Oh, so Seinfeld was the first time.
Yeah.
And Frasier's the second time?
That's not true. Married with Children, but one line.
That's right, Married with Children. Okay, so this is number 3.
Again, it's like a 3-line part. I'm trying to break. I'm going back and forth between like co-star, guest star, series, on Medicine Ball, regular to co-star. I'm just like it's.
Now, are you waiting tables still?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because nothing was in a row. Nothing was
employing you long enough. Are you getting your job back at Johnny Rockets, or are you going to do? Are you like?
There was a manager there who took pity on me.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I would.
Did it happen to other people who worked there? I'm assuming mostly actors, because you guys are singing, Johnny Rockets singing. People are going on auditions, getting jobs, coming back.
Yeah, they were cooler. They were nice.
That's great.
And I would get angry, go, "What the fuck am I doing? This place sucks." And then I'd quit, and then I'd get broke. And a month later, come over. "Hey Gary, can I have my job back?" He's like, "Oh Tim, yes."
I like Gary. Good for Gary.
Gary was great.
That's sweet. All right, here. Look at this. He plays Chick Mars on Lights, Camera, Val in an episode of VIP in 2000. I want to hear about VIP. Was the Pamela Anderson show where she played like a bodyguard. Where she played a bodyguard, and I just remember watching one episode, and she was sitting in front of the Hollywood sign in the Hollywood Hills in a miniskirt and high heels, and she was itching her head with her gun. And I was like, "Yes, Pamela Anderson."
Yeah.
Did you get to work with her?
Oh wait, I'm thinking of the wrong show.
VIP, Pamela Anderson.
I'm thinking of Silk Stockings. That was another really quality TV program that I did. What did I do? And you know what? I honestly don't remember that one. I did work with her.
So finally, you're reaching a point where you're working enough that you're not memorizing every line you said.
I don't even remember that set. I remember getting the.
Okay, so now you're a working actor.
But Peter DeLuise directed that episode. He eventually was on Sequest. So he was part of this group and became a TV director. And I almost didn't get the job because he was like, "Dude, you tone it down. Like he kept, like I was being too big. I'm like, it's fucking VIP. So I was still, but even then I was still, and I still do to this day, am fighting my theatrical training.
Sure, because it's Shakespearean. You studied Shakespearean acting, which is the opposite of anything happening on television, with the exception possibly of what comes, it seems to me, because this is the first time you recur on a show I watched, Deadwood. Do you want to talk about what happened before then?
It was Judging Amy.
Oh, this has you out of order.
Yes.
It has Deadwood, then Nip Tuck, then Judging Amy.
Judging Amy. So Judging Amy.
And look, we're halfway through, so we gotta fly.
God, I'm just talking.
Because I have to get. No, I'm asking.
No,
I'm asking you about shows that no one saw.
Okay, so
we've all done them.
So Judging Amy.
I'm a failure as a guest host, is what we've discovered.
Quite all right. I believe I'm railroading this conversation.
No, you're not. Judging Amy.
Judging Amy.
Action.
Again, John Sackmark, Karen Lenhart. Those same guys ended up
from Sequest?
From Seacrest, from Medicine Ball, from...
Oh, they love you. They love you, these guys.
They became my patrons. And they just... up until, I think, Medicine Ball, up until Psych, they were responsible for 70% of my career. And they just kept hiring me. Judging Amy, I went in for, again, 3 episodes, and it ended up being 90 episodes.
Oh, jeez. But you were a series regular at some point, right? This wasn't all guest star. No, Tim!
The very last season.
Explain to the audience the difference between a guest star and a series regular.
Lots and lots and lots and lots of money.
Mm-hmm. And security.
And security.
And a good parking spot.
Yeah.
And a nicer trailer.
Yes. So it was an amazing job. Again, on the job experience, I'm working with Tyne Daly, who she and I got along like a house on fire.
She seems terrifying to me.
She does not suffer fools.
Yeah, Sharon Gless either, I'd be willing to bet.
Correct. But Tyne was absolutely wonderful to me.
That's great.
Absolutely, like started my kids' college fund. Like just, I love her and will go to the mat for her anytime.
God.
And the time, she has a reputation of being maybe a little difficult at times.
It might be that Hollywood thing, though, of a guy is considered formidable and a woman's considered a bitch. Like she seems scary.
I watched it happen, and the only time she lost her cool is when she wasn't being listened to. And she was right.
And she was right.
And
I'm sure.
She's what? But that was a job where I was her boss, and I became a really integral part of the show. Amy Brenneman was lovely to me. Everyone was lovely to me. They just wouldn't give me. They wouldn't make me regular, even though I was doing 22 episodes a season. I was doing more episodes than some of the regulars who were like 7 out of 13, and it made me really, 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 really bitter for a while.
I bet.
So I'm a bitter working actor, which is weird.
Wait, pause. Stay there. Hold on to your bitterness, because I have to read a commercial. So you stew in it. Just for a second. Where'd I put it? I'm terrible at this. Guys. Oh, glasses time, because it's a little teeny tiny text. Don't actually stew in your bitterness. Because I know everything works out all right for you. That's the other thing is, you're doing all right now. So, you're just trying to make me feel better that you were unhappy at any point during your career. You guys, today's show is sponsored by Howl.fm. It's like a Netflix for podcasts, only with Howl Premium. You can listen to the Comedy Bang Bang 2016 live tour. Now, the tour is sold out everywhere, but you can hear every single performance on Howl the next day. This year, Paul F. Tompkins, who we love, Lauren Lapkus, and Neil Campbell will be along for the ride, and there will surely be a few surprise drop-ins as well. Here are the 19 tour stops and 22 performances from CBB Live only on Howl. And in addition to the 2016 live tour with Howl Premium, you get 42 more Comedy Bang Bang specials, along with exclusive access to more than 120 hours of original miniseries and audio documentaries and over 90 comedy albums. This looks fucking great. Can I take this piece of paper home?
Yes.
New episodes and albums are released every week. Guys, this is really impressive. I know I should have probably read it before I read it. Howl Premium, you get 42 more Comedy Bang Bang specials. There's another ad here. Should I do that or can I talk to Tim? Do I want to do the second guy?
Yes.
Now?
Please.
Wait, listen. Because it has to do with this. I didn't give you all the information. about Howl.fm. Get access to all of this exclusive content on your iPhone, your Android phone, and on the web for only $4.99 a month. See, look at this, so cheap. And with the promo code KEVIN, KEVIN, capital letters, you get a free month trial, a full month free trial. To redeem your promo code, make sure you create an account on the web at Howl.fm and enter code KEVIN at checkout. Remember to hear all the Comedy Bang Bang Live tour along with dozens of original audio, miniseries, and comedy albums. Go to Howl.fm. That is HOWL.FM. And use the promo code KEVIN for a 1 month free trial of Howl Premium. I would advise doing it, and I'm going to take this home with me.
Did you read that cold?
Yeah, but obviously
really
I should have
good.
read it before
No,
because
that
I
was-
didn't.
but-
I said, hey, do this thing, it's great, but then I didn't say how to do it, which is my MO. I didn't know that. I thought this was a different ad.
I was just very entertained watching you read
Well,
that.
that's nice.
Very good.
So you're bitter?
Bitterness.
You're angry, as you have a right to be, because you were essentially operating as a series regular on a show, but you weren't being compensated for it.
Yes.
But were you at least now not waiting tables at the same time? This is a
Yes.
full-time job. You're doing 22 episodes a year,
Yes.
but what you're being paid is not commensurate. Commensurate, is that the right word?
Sure.
With the service you were providing.
Yes. And
Which now networks are trying to get away with all the time, is keep someone a guest star, and they were doing it then.
Yeah.
Keep someone a guest star until they get offered another show or they're going to walk,
That's it.
and then you have to pay them more to keep them, to sign them on, and make them exclusive.
Yes.
So I understand why you were angry.
Not nearly as angry as when I was working the door to nightclub and hadn't worked in 9 months, and was
Yes,
just
but
really
It's that relative anger of, I'm only making this much, but I'm not in the Sudanese child
course,
army, and
of
I've
course.
lost my arm. But it's, you can be angry about not being treated with respect.
Because it was always, for me, it was always about trying to get to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working clubs and nightclubs and bars and working the door, and finally was just just totally broke.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ugh, I hated it.
Nothing. With my girlfriend, then now my wife, and we were just both piss broke. And a buddy of mine offered me a job moving furniture. And I was like, dude, I'll give you $60 a day. And I went, fuck it. Okay, manual labor, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
And the very next day, Ted Ramey calls me, who I knew from Sequest,
Right.
who was working on Xena, and said, they're looking for a Jesus type. I've recommended you, because I looked like this back then as well.
Right.
And I got that job, because I'd always said, if I could just get 2 jobs in a row, I'll have enough
then
money
I'm off
to
this
get it.
merry-go-round. I
And
can
just
save
get
up enough
ahead of
to,
my bills.
yeah.
And it was 3 episodes, and it was the last time I ever worked anything other than
Wow! Now
Okay.
this is Xena Warrior
This is
Princess
Xena Warrior
that
Princess.
I believe was produced by Sam Raimi, Ted's brother,
Yes.
and Rob Tappert
Yes.
from the Evil Dead franchise.
Yes.
And it's shot in
New Zealand. And Lucy Lawless is the greatest woman in the
She
world.
seems like the shit.
She
She
is-
seems like the
you two
coolest
would
woman.
be fucking pieces
Oh,
of
I
pie.
love her. I love her.
Yeah.
I've never met her. She just seems so
She's
cool.
I have been blessed by working with.
So you
amazing
loved it. You
women.
went to New Zealand. You shot.
Shot. I
And
was
that was
there
the
for like a
that
month
was
and a
that
half.
was the end of your waiting tables.
Lucy, the day she met me, and she knew that Ted and I were friends, so he'd kind of vouch for me. She heard that my girlfriend was going to come down for a visit because I had a week off, and she said, "Take my vacation place."
Oh.
She's like, "It's there. Go, ask my assistant. She'll give you the address and tell you the code to get in."
Oh, you know it's going to be nice because she has an assistant, and she's been on the show how many years?
There's a few years. No, it was actually
got
it was a little
sweet
it was a
place,
little
New
beach
Zealand.
shack. It was just this little beach shack on a lake in the middle of New Zealand,
Oh,
and
I
it was
love it.
fucking gorgeous. So, like, that's who that woman is.
That's so nice.
It gets and Judging Amy, which
That's what kept you off the streets.
that's what kept me through.
Was-
So
okay.
I went through this period on Judging Amy over the years, where again being very bitter, very angry, and finally wrapped my head around it of being grateful. Somewhere in there, I realized angry actor is not attractive, and angry actor doesn't work, and bitter doesn't work,
This is true.
and it wasn't getting me any work prior
No,
to it.
yeah.
And so I was.
Good
so
for you
I
for
was
figuring
able to
that out
perspective.
by yourself. Though. But then did you go to them and say,
Oh, we
making
went
it
time and
series
time
regular.
again. I tried to get I got a different lawyer.
So
we
this
called,
is why.
No,
So
we were
I understand
really trying.
why you're angry, though. It
And as
makes
my
sense.
manager said, dude, you're their bitch. And until you say no, you're
Oh.
going to be their bitch.
Yeah.
And I was by then married. I had a baby on the way.
Oh wow.
So I was like, I ain't saying no to anything. Instead, I'm going to say thank you. And it worked out where I was by then, I was able to buy a little house, even though it wasn't huge money, it was consistent guest starring money. It was really consistent. And I was friends with the writers. So they would call me and go, dude, you're in the next 7 episodes. It's like, don't worry.
So you felt safe,
So
and
I
you
felt
knew
safe.
money was coming in, and you.
And was able to buy a house. And my wife, who had been supporting me basically for 10 years while I was doing this little job and then waiting tables and being a bad waiter and this, she was getting ready to have, I was like 7 months pregnant probably.
Wow.
And we were able to pass the baton. I was like, I think I got this now. So she was able to then be a stay-at-home mom.
God, that's got to feel so good, and as a man, to
Yes.
be able to say, "Oh,
I bought a house.
I can do
I'm
this,
taking care of
and
this kid.
you can
I'm
stay
taking-
home."
and this woman who's been taking care of me, I can now take care of her.
Yeah, wow.
And then we had a baby, and it was great. And in between there, though, I got dead because I was free to do whatever, because I wasn't under contract.
Oh, so while you were not a series regular on Judging Amy, you did Deadwood?
Yes.
Did you? Would you? I'm sorry, I don't know which season you were in.
I was season 1. I
Deadwood.
was in the first 4 episodes.
Oh, right.
of
So
Deadwood.
you didn't know. No one knew that
Right.
it was going to become this.
Yeah.
And had you ever heard of Milch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you knew.
I knew who he was,
Okay.
and I knew reading the script that this is the shit I want to be doing.
Yeah.
And out of all those years about bitching about my theatrical training and how it didn't do me any good, this is one where I went, oh, thank God I went to theater school. Because I know how to do this. He was a New York dandy from 1870. Like, I could do that. I could do a Mid-Atlantic. And went in, I remember the audition, again this one, it was at Paramount, and I went in, and I'm with a very small agency, and I'm intimidated by everyone. You look at the call sheet, like, oh, fucking William Morris and Gersh, and blah, blah, blah. These guys are all big shots, and they're gonna, and I sign in, and I look around, and it's like I call it the unwashed actor, just the.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Fitch Plus. I'm like, why did you not fucking? Did you not read? It's a New York dandy. What the fuck are you in jeans for and unshaven, you idiot thing? And the walls at Paramount are very thin.
You can hear everyone auditioning.
And I not only do I hear the auditions, I hear Milch talking about their auditions after they leave.
Ugh.
And he's like, no, he's got to be this, he's got to be that, he's got to be that, which was all the things I was planning on doing.
Great.
So it immediately validated that I was going in the right direction.
Great. Good. Yeah.
And I went in, it was fucking David Milch laying on the floor, and Walter Hill was directing, big shot director, and I do the thing, and David's like, great! And Walter Hill goes, that's a fine piece of acting. And I walked out, and I called my wife and went, I got this one. Like,
Oh my
I was like,
God.
this one is mine. It was the first time I went, this one's mine.
Wow.
And then I didn't get the job. Because Hollywood. It conflicted with one day on Judging Amy that I was already boarded for.
Come on.
And HBO went, what problem? There's no problem. Go to the next guy. They didn't give a shit. But HBO was offering, they put their guest stars under contract. It was a weird thing. Like, they guaranteed you, so it was better money than regular guest starring money.
Yeah.
But it was some weird contract. Like, they committed to something.
Interesting.
And so I lost the job. And then, as always happens, schedules get pushed. And I get a call from someone saying, can you be in, like, basically, can you drive an hour and a half north and go meet David Milch on set?
Oh yeah, up to the desert.
Yeah,
Shot.
yeah. And I was like, yep. And I went to set, and it was the first day of shooting. And Dave was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, so you want to be in this TV show? I was like, yes, sir. He's like, great, go to wardrobe. What happened, they had hired someone else. I can't remember the poor bastard's name. He was the first scene up. It was a scene with him and the amazing Molly Parker. And Walter Hill, I think, didn't care for what was going on. And the story I'd heard is Walter went, I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee. Give me that other guy.
Wow.
And by then the schedule worked out, and I got the job.
Wow.
And then I walked onto set the next day, already lit, already blocked, You move here, here, here.
Oh,
This.
because they'd already shot
They
it.
already shot it.
So you just.
That was one of those things where it's like, okay, time to earn your money. I'm going, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That's fantastic.
One of the most amazing jobs ever.
I mean, it's an amazing show. It's extraordinary.
And to get to work with that,
That
I worked
crew
with
and
the
that
quality of
cast.
actor and just every day be like, they got him?
Yeah.
Holy, or they got her? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, you see with Keith Carradine? What the fuck?
I know, he's cool.
Yeah, it was all. And then
That's
lost the
great.
job. Or then the job ended.
No, the job ended. You didn't lose
I didn't-
it.
no, I didn't
have
lose
to
the job.
I have to fast forward, and I'm sorry
know.
to say, because I don't even know how much time we have left, and I feel
God,
I
I'm
feel
fascinating.
I've done a really bad job. No. I just spent too much time on early stuff. But you know what? There's so many interviews out there. I'm afraid we're gonna have to skip over Psych. I am sorry. There's so many interviews out there. Unless there's something that you want to clear up. Like I need to make sure that I ask you if there's anything you want to address, because this is an in-depth interview. My poor job at it notwithstanding, I want to see if there's anything you would like to address. Because you know, sometimes now everyone's online and people are talking and this and just people, everyone has an opinion about something and something's going to be misconstrued and there's a lot of bullshit on the internet and people making judgments about your career choices or things that you've done or things that you do. Is there anything that you want to
important enough
address?
that anybody gives a shit.
Yes, come on.
No,
you know what I mean.
nobody's
You
gonna-
must have read something. Are you smart? Do you never go on a message board and
I don't go on message
you
boards.
never read like what
But
it's
now
smart.
Twitter
it's
is
so
message
smart.
boards. Twitter's
I
the
know,
message
you're right.
board. Yeah.
Is anybody creepy, like stalking you or saying no one says they're your kid?
I have some enthusiastic
Enthusiastic.
fans,
That's the way to put it.
But it's all just fine.
Okay. Now I should have said this. I meant to say this at the beginning. Of full disclosure, that Timothy Omundson and I are both on shows that belong to Dan Fogelman, who is our boss. We both work for ABC Studios. Tim is on a show now waiting to find out if it's going to be picked up for season 3 on ABC called Galavant, that we're going to talk about in a second. I'm on Grandfathered for Fox. We're both waiting to see if we're going to be picked up.
We're bubble buddies.
We're bubble buddies. We're on the bubble is what it's called on Deadline.
It
Says
never
you're on
ends,
the
does it?
bubble.
It
You know.
never.
No, so we might be out of a job. Like basically, we're out of jobs.
We are on hiatus.
We're on hiatus. We
which
have no work.
Could become unemployment.
Exactly. In like 2 weeks, I think May 16th they announce
Yep.
if our shows
yeah.
are coming
Well,
back,
that's
and we don't
exactly
know.
it.
We
Yeah.
don't know. So that's there's a life of an actor.
It never ends.
It doesn't
That's
end.
the crazy thing.
It doesn't end.
Everything.
Someone honked their agreement in Santa
Okay.
Monica. Yeah.
Preaching the choir, buddy.
That's
It fucking sucks.
Someone out there is on hiatus too. So, but now tell me about Galavant, because it feels like the part couldn't be played by anyone else. You are a hero among actors because you are the lone American who's in England playing a Brit. And there's so much resentment and anger that all the Brits and the Australians are over here playing American parts. So Tim is a cause celeb for all these actors that he won the part away from. I mean, let's be honest, several. I'm not going to say who, but high profile British movie star types.
One of which was an absolute hero of mine. So yes.
Past tense, because now you're better than he is.
And he's no longer on the planet.
Oh, jeez. Oh, so I don't know who that is.
I'll tell you later.
Oh.
I can
But
tell
you've
you
been
now.
playing King Richard on Galavant for 2 seasons.
For 2 seasons.
And it seems like the perfect job for you because it's comedy, but you have to have dramatic ability and you have to be vulnerable. And it's so this character is so touching and became someone completely different.
First of all, can I just say, I'm so thrilled that you actually watched it.
I love it. I love it.
It was the greatest, is the greatest part I've ever played. And may ever gets, who knows about that. But
No, don't say that.
But it's everything I've ever wanted to do because it does walk that line between all the comedic stuff that I've been studying my entire life, not realizing it, and I'm getting to just do all that while at the same time this last season did one of the most emotional, heart-wrenching scenes I've ever done in my life, which is full on just basket case tears.
Tell me about that scene.
It was the breakup between the woman I've just admitted my love for, and finally had sex for the very first time, and is loved, and he's become a romantic hero, and they have to break up because she doesn't want him to go to battle. She's also a warrior, or she is a warrior, and I'm not, and she's like, I can't watch you because you'll die.
Right.
And you're gonna die, and I can't do it. And Claire Foster is the actress, and she's just...
I love her.
Oh,
I don't know where I've seen her before, but the moment she showed up, I just loved her.
She's one of the most talented actresses I've ever
You
worked
two
with.
are great. I don't even know where she's from.
She's from England.
She's
She's
a Brit,
like
okay.
a West End gal, little bit of TV, starting to do more TV. I so want her to just, I keep trying to get her to come out here and get out. She's just the shit. And
I hope she stays there and you go back and do a season 3
That'd be
because
nice too.
Put Down That Cat is, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. Hopefully everyone's seen them all by now, but you do.
galloping up on a fucking stallion and doing like, it's like, guys, I'm gonna do like a cool thing with the flip over the side of the horse. Oh my
so
god, it was just and, like,
exciting.
and that's like playing a fucking romantic lead. I've never ever gotten to do that. What the hell? And anyway, we used the scene where we break up, and it was just, and Claire is just such an emotionally available actress, and I'm crazy about her, and we work so well together, and she became a dear friend, and it was just heart-wrenching to the point where we had to keep pulling it back, and our showrunners, John Hoberg and Kat Lickle, who were really the geniuses behind this second season, they're on set, and Kat's crying, but we're like, we can't put that scene in this show. It's too much. And to their credit, because they really walked that balance of super silly, goofy, stupid, wonky to heart. And we just had to keep refining and refining. It was one of the toughest days I've ever had on set. On this silly, goofy, musical comedy.
But it's not like Airplane. I mean, it is.
It is at times.
Well, yeah, but the reason why I think the show is so successful, it is because it's a world in which the absurdity, it still belongs with heart and vulnerability and desires and intentions that are human and understandable, even if they're absurd.
It's all absolutely connected.
Yeah.
To reality.
And I think I tweeted you a million times about Tad Cooper, and the last shot of coming up on season 3, if we avoid the cancellation bear again, is you go ahead and feed Tad. She says, and you go out and you have a sheep, and I'm like, oh no, really? And I am weeping. I love it. I needed season 3.
It was just amazing. And John and Kat pitched me the season before, because they pretty much had it all mapped out before we started season 2. And they told me like where Richard was going, and it was the greatest gift anyone's ever given me.
I know. How are you feeling now? Because I think I know how this feels, because waiting to find out if you get to go back and do it it's hard. You'd have to move back to England.
Yes.
Your wife and daughters are here. It's hard. If you do it, it's hard if you don't.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the worst thing for my family if I didn't up and move back to England for 5 or 6 months.
It would not be the worst.
It would not be the worst thing for them. It's intensely difficult, especially on my wife Allison. But she. This is what I do, and she knows it, and she was an actress, and she understands it, but that doesn't take anything away from how fucking incredibly hard it is to be, any single parent knows. Because essentially she's a single parent, and I pop into town, I came back 4 times this last year, pop in for a few days, and I'm essentially worthless because I'm jet lagged, and then I leave again, and you're just trying not to lock up their situation because they've got their shit down. But yet, for them to be over with me, it's not in a long enough time. It's only 4 or 5 months.
Right.
and I work 14 hours a day.
And there's nothing you can do.
And
You
I
have
come-
dance rehearsals, and so, I mean, there's
it's
just
the
nothing.
hardest I've
There's
ever
no
worked in my life.
family
There's
time
nothing.
when you're shooting a show like
And
that.
I mean, I come home, I look at my lines, I
You
have
go
a
to
drink,
sleep.
I go to bed.
You get up, you go back.
It's just this
Yeah.
of doing the thing I love the most in the world.
Right.
So, but yet, this one was really tough when I was fine, and I love England, and I love the people I work with. I'm a huge Anglophile, and I've developed some really great friendships there. And the thought of like not going back to that world, and plus this job, when the last episode aired this season, we had a big fancy party at the Soho House that John and Kat threw for us, and lots of people came, and I watched it, and I talked. Everyone, all the producers and writers and actors all had the same thing. We all were intensely depressed that day, knowing it was coming.
Wow.
Because suddenly we knew what a long shot it was to come back again. And it really set in of, oh, this could be done. This could be the last time I get to play this guy ever.
Right.
And I just went into a spiral.
Oh.
Like it was rough for several months and plus I didn't have any other work. That's why when something like Thrilling Adventure Hour, which is a show she and I get to guest on with her, when stuff like that comes along, it's just, please let me be creative, let me act, let me perform, let me do something. And we see, and it really dawned on me, it does. I've been doing this for 25 years. It never changes unless and even if you're making it, even if you're producing it and creating it yourself, you're still waiting for somebody else to allow you to do it. And
Right.
It's just
You need to depend on someone else to employ you or provide you with the money to do what we want to do. I certainly wouldn't risk my own money.
Right. Right. Oh.
So I mean, I'm hired. I am hired. I am an
this is-
employee, and
And so many people forget that. So many actors forget that. We're
maybe you're probably right that a lot
Yeah.
of people forget that.
selling soap.
Yeah, that's true. But I use
To
soap,
some
so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and soap pays me well.
Yeah,
And
it does. It
and
really
some of the
does.
time,
But that's part of what they're paying us for: is the waiting and not knowing,
that's
and
exactly,
the terror,
and
and the.
I think my agents were calling me like, hey, what are you doing this pilot season? I was like, look, dude, I understand this is part of the job. In exchange for being a series regular on a show, there is a period of waiting, and you miss a pilot season, and you don't know if you're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the game. That's what they pay me for.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, I'm an eternal optimist, and I've always been let's see what's over that. What's over that next ridge? Because there's and you look at my career, and I've been so. I used to say lucky, and I've changed that. I've just been fortunate. There's a difference because luck implies dumb luck. Peter Dinklage had a great quote recently where someone was like, he said, I hate when people say I'm lucky or I've been lucky because it negates all the fucking years of eating grilled cheese sandwiches and sleeping on friends' floors and all
the
work
hard
goes
work
into
that
it.
you do put into,
So I've been intensely fortunate to have these opportunities come, and
But yeah, it is not luck because you provide what you provide greater than what you are being hired for. That's what you do. I feel you could be serviceable, but the reason why people keep bringing you back or add you into more and more episodes or take a chance on you playing a British king is because you're providing more than just fulfilling the job.
Okay.
And that's talent and hard work and dedication and ambition, and it's not seeing your family for 4 months. Like you make sacrifices to be as good as you are. And it's unusual. So I don't fucking worry about you. You're always gonna work. And I feel like I have to say something. What is that? He's frightening me. Give me this. Running around behind that light I can't see. Hey, we have questions.
okay.
I feel like that ended really nicely. You did a Dinklage quote and you talked about feeling fortunate. And then I told you how good I think you are.
This has been the nicest interview I've ever done, mainly because it's talking about me.
You know I'm such a fan of yours.
Look who's talking.
Question for Paget and Tim. Rory asks, do you have any advice for aspiring actors, and what's your favorite animal? Tim?
Rory, I think I know who you are, because this is on the Twitter. Favorite? No, fuck
Favorite
it.
anime.
Fuck it. That's my greatest advice. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Just figure out who the hell you are. What the fuck? I have no idea. I mean, I know.
You
I can't.
think of an animal, because I will say I have 2 pieces of advice I think for when people ask me about acting. The 2 pieces of advice I have is, if you can, be a reader for a casting director. Sit in the room and read sides. It's so smart. And did you learn, like, oh my God, I didn't suck every time?
Yep.
20 people come in for the same part in one day, and 2 or 3 aren't right for it. The other 17 or 18 are great, and it becomes a question of, well, how tall was that guy? And we need a brunette, and there's so many good actors, so that is the piece of advice I give actors. If you want to act, try to be a reader for a casting director and see actors come in and audition.
And you also realize some people just have it immediately. Like, they're the guy, or they're the gal. They're just...
And you never know. It's not quantifiable.
And you can't... When I hit 40, I realized they're either buying what I'm selling or they're not. And I go into a room and I see all my friends in the waiting room because I've known them for 20 years.
Now we all know everyone we go up against when we audition.
And I'll be like, well, fuck, I'd cast him before me. And it's not a competition anymore.
It's not, because he'll get that job, you'll get this job, he'll get the other one. It's not a competition. And when we all end up working together, I have worked with every single woman I'm in the waiting room with. Like, hey, it's Constance. Nice to see you. It's Judy. Hey, what the? And we all get different jobs, and it's fine. And if you hang in there long enough, and you know who you are, getting very excited.
There was a moment, just as I went in to test for Galavant, where it was at ABC, and you look across the freeway, and there's Forest Lawn Cemetery, and I was pacing the room for 20 fucking minutes, 40 minutes, and I looked out the window and I just went, fuck it. We all end up in the ground anyway. Fuck it. I'm going to go do exactly what I want to do. I'm not going to try and figure out what they want me to do. So that's my advice for you.
I agree. I agree entirely. That, and take at least 1 improv class. Favorite animal? I don't know. Monkey. Oh, see, now I want a potbelly pig. So.
That's nothing like a monkey.
Hey Bella, and it's either Angel A or Angel A, celebrating a 30th birthday. Both ask, any favorite funny memories from Thrilling Adventure Hour? I'll start. This past Friday night, Tim Omundson performed a bluegrass version of Madonna's Like a Prayer. Who knew they needed that? Now we all know we need it. We need it again!
That's a good one.
Thrilling Adventure Hour is a show that is written by Blacker and Blacker, and we've been performing it. You started in 2000... It
was right after Psych.
2004.
It was the beginning of this beard.
Wait, 2004?
No.
That can't be right. No. It was...
I've only doing it a couple years.
When was it? No, it's 3 years. I'm so bad at math. 2014. No, it's 16 now. No, you've been doing it 3 years. 2013? I feel like you've been with us for years.
Psych, which is a lovely comment. Psych, I think, just ended.
Just ended, because you were clean shaven when you started with us.
I had like a 2 weeks growth. It was the beginning of this beard, and I've had this for 2 years now.
So it's a stage show where we're on stage.
It's
how I met
radio.
Kevin Pollak. He did Thrilling Adventure Hour. You stand on stage and you read original scripts written by Acker and Blacker at Old Timey Radio. Serial stories. And we've been doing it 11 years, and Tim's been doing it for...
Paget is a fucking genius on it. That's where you and I first met.
So
and
are
I
you. We are very good.
I would stand there in the
very
wings.
Very good.
Oh,
I had 11 years. I had 11 years to get good at it.
Oh my God, I would stand there in the wings just gobsmacked. And I'm such a tremendous, I'm Paget superfan number 4736. That's what's on my membership card.
4,735 other fans.
Oh, and I was an early adopter though too.
Obviously I'm a big fan of yours because I begged them to get you for me to interview today. And then you texted me, oh, you're going to be sick, because we did 2 shows of Thrilling Adventure Hour Friday night.
8 and 10.
And you were like, oh, you're going to be sick of me. You're going to be sick of me by Sunday. I was like, no, I know I'm not going to get enough.
My favorite memory was Paget singing background for that thing.
That was fun.
That's good.
I did because you were let the choir sing, and then we came out. It was really fun.
It was great.
My life as an errant venture asks, can you talk about your experience on Supernatural? See, I should have gotten that, and I didn't.
Supernatural was great. Here's what I love about Supernatural. Speak very fast. It was fucking great. Again, it's not luck. I've been blessed to make connections with people. I never understood networking. That was never, people were like, oh, you got to go to parties. And like, that's never fucking me.
Schmooze is what they're
That's not
saying.
me, but I've been lucky enough to collect people and creative people and writers along the way, and we want to work together. So Supernatural, God, again, it all comes back to John and Carrie. John and Carrie, Judging Amy, two young writers named Steve Skya and Matt Fetterman, who were fans of Deadwood, came on that show, young writers. They went on to, again, start hiring me for everything. They wrote Jericho. On Jericho, I met John Steinberg and Robbie Thompson. Steinberg went on to do Human Target, where Robbie was also back on, I believe. Robbie went to Supernatural, hired me for Supernatural. And we talked for years about trying to get me on that show. And finally, I was unemployed. I think Psych had ended, I was on hiatus. And literally, I emailed him like, dude, I'm available. I want to come to your show. And they wrote Kane, which was this fucking wicked good part. It's in Boston, turn I do believe. You know that one? I love that show because the actors on that are just some of the greatest men and a few women that I've ever come across, and I do conventions with them.
Oh yeah!
And it's great. Richard Spate, who I went to college with, I do conventions with him. We do these Supernatural conventions, and they're some of the most fun I get to have because the fandom of Supernatural is very special and very unique, and the show is bigger than the actors on in the show. It's become this thing in the world, this fandom, and it's great to get to interact with these people, and you feel like a fucking rock star for 48 hours, and then we actually perform a concert, and I get to be a rock star for a night, and we'll sing with the band and.
It's for conventions for Supernatural.
Yeah, it's taken on this other thing, and
is this something that's going to come back, or there's going to be a movie, or you know what I mean?
It's still on the air. The show's
in syndication.
They're still making new episodes. Show's been on the air for I believe 12 seasons.
I didn't know.
It's 12
I haven't
seasons.
seen it.
They'll probably go 14.
Wow.
It's huge.
14 seasons. And does this shoot in Canada?
Shoots in Vancouver.
Supernatural's such a big deal, and I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
I only did 2 episodes.
I should have looked. But look, see the fans already. They know you from Supernatural.
It's a pretty great gig.
Megan Kalea, I hope I said that correctly.
Hi, Megan.
Do you know Megan?
No.
Oh, which character have you played that, in your opinion, you found the most inspirational?
I found the most inspirational?
Inspirational to you personally, I'm guessing.
King Richard.
Yes.
Because again, he is me in that he is started out certainly as a vain, insecure, thin-skinned mini tyrant. Not quite the tyrant. My children think I'm a tyrant. Who is just longing to fucking find his place in the world and figure out who he is and where he fits in, and then he gets to express that in song, and eventually. He gets to be heroic, which I want to be heroic, and he gets to be everything I've wanted to be. So there we go.
Let me ask you this: what do you feel about the idea of? Because you're saying, the last episode of Galavant that aired, you were saying, "Here I am, I'm the romantic hero," and I've always wanted to play this, and I haven't played this before. What are your thoughts on the difference between a romantic hero? Or a character actor, or a lead actor, or do you have thoughts about that at all? Because it sounds like what you're saying is, I wouldn't be a romantic lead.
I've always considered myself a character actor.
So, but what do you think about that? Because you are the lead, you're not the titular character in Galavant, but certainly to me, you're the lead in that show. You're the romantic lead. I understand I don't know. I don't like him as much as I like you. So I'm just curious what you feel about that division, that descriptor in the industry, the difference between a lead actor and a character actor.
I think it's always been in my head, is some of the thing. I don't know. There's a tremendous insecurity of not being the buffed up guy, not being that and going, I'm never going to be that. I can be a version of something like that. And I don't know. It was shocking to finally, maybe it's giving myself permission to go, yeah, I can be good looking enough to play that part, or someone can find me attractive enough to think I would be the romantic lead. It's we're all just at heart insecure, broken little dolls.
That's true. I think we all are, especially actors. I think every human being is insecure to some degree. It's part of our makeup, unless you're a sociopath, or because narcissists are technically the most insecure people.
Yeah.
Narcissists, you'd think, oh, they're so high on themselves.
But
no,
if you
they
scratch
hate
the
themselves
surface,
so
that's it.
much that they can't handle anyone saying anything other than they're perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting, yeah. I find you exceptionally dashing. I think you're a lead. I would like to do a show with you. I would like to do a multi-camera comedy with you. All I can think is we're ex-spouses and we bicker, but we should probably be together. So obviously you're my idea of a leading man. Ooh, here we are. Something I don't understand what this means. Wait a minute. Hold on. What is your opinion on the ship Lassiter and Juliet?
Oh, I didn't really realize that they shipped Lassiter and Juliet. Shipping, apparently, I've learned, is when people write fan fiction and put characters together.
Right, and put two people together.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a ship named
The HMS.
the HMS Lassiter and Juliet. I was like, Jesus, that's impressive.
The HMS Lassiter.
That's a fan base.
I'm like, here's my whole opinion on shipping. Whatever floats your boat. There's lots of, it seems like there's a lot of homoerotic shipping. Most of it seems to be geared that way. Write whatever you want to write. I don't care. You can ship Lassiter. You can ship Lassiter and Kane for all I care.
You know what? Who would you ship? Like, who would you anything on the air now? Movies, TV, books.
Is it
who would
characters you want to
ship?
see together? I guess that's what it is.
Yes, it's a couple you want to create that's not a couple in their world. In actuality.
That takes way too much brain power from me
Like,
right now.
Captain Kirk and Uhura, Lieutenant Uhura did kiss, so you wouldn't necessarily say, I'm going to ship them, but I guess people do. I think there's a lot of Captain Kirk and Dr. Spock shipping. I think there's a lot of gay Star Trek shipping.
Sure.
I know, because I've seen some of it.
And maybe you've written some of it?
I'm guessing.
No,
I didn't. I haven't written it. I haven't written any. Is there anyone you can think of shipping?
I am too self-centered to not really care about anybody else. Really.
That's funny. Okay, now, I feel like I read somewhere that you said you feel not like The Secret, or I made a little note and put it in my hope chest, but that you were at some point thinking, I really want to sing and I really want to, and you feel like you may have. Tell me about this, because I'm going to say it incorrectly.
It sounds stupidly mumbo jumbo. Maggie Lawson, who was the other part of the Lassiter O'Hara. Maggie was my partner in crime on Galavant, on Psych for 8 years. Became one of my dearest friends still. As Psych was ending, and I was hitting this point in my career where I left the casting pool at 38. I was going back into the casting pool a middle-aged character actor.
Because you had been on Psych for so long.
I've been on this show. So
From
now
30 to 38.
From 38 to like 40. I'm now 40, almost 47. So it's going back into 45 going, what the fuck is there going to be for me? Am I going to be the chief? Am I going to be the dad? Am I going to be the boss? There's not a lot of great roles out there. And it was petrifying of like, what am I going to do now? And Psych was an amazing experience. And Maggie came to me one day and she's like, Tim, there's a book you got to read. And I'm like, what, Maggie? She's like, it's called The Power of Believing. And I'm like, fuck, did your shaman tell you to read it? Because she is more open-minded than I am. And she's like,
So diplomatic.
I'm like, come on,
So sweet.
Max. She's like, no, here's the deal. Here's why you'll like it. It was written by a guy in like 1930. And it's just power positive thinking, what it comes down to. So I'm like, fuck, man, I'm not gonna read the book. And she kept bugging me. She's like, get the book, Tim, I've done it. And Maggie had left our show early to go star in her own sitcom. And things were going great in her career and personal life. And she's like, Tim, I've done it. And it's fucking crazy, but it's not so much the secret of like, I want $1 million. What it boiled down to is really thinking about what you want to do. It's basic, there's nothing fucking mumbo jumbo about it. It's what do I want to do? And to sort of, you can do that by exercising, by writing it down. You can do it by fucking just sitting and meditating on it. You can ask the universe, you can pray to Buddha, whatever, but it was figuring out what I want to do. And so I get the book, and again, it's written in 1930. You know, it's the magic of believing. Who's to say a man won't one day walk on the moon? Anything is possible if you believe.
Oh, that's right. It was written in 1930.
Figure out what you want. Write your goals down on a business card. Tape it next to your shaving mirror. You know, we all know that man in the office who's attractive and energetic, and people want to be by him. What is that thing he believes? So I was like, all right. So finally, I get the book, and I go to the bookstore, and I'm walking around Barnes and Noble. And books, I don't know what the fuck it is. And I'm like, what the fuck is this book? I don't remember who it's by. I'm like, what is it in the mumbo jumbo section, the self-help section, the bullshit section? I don't know. I'm like, where the fuck is this book? Where is this book? And I turn the corner, and it's sticking out of the shelf like this.
No, come on.
I have a photo of it. I will show you.
You took a photo.
I did take a photo. I'm going to show you right now.
So
Nobody's
it's
gonna see it.
sticking out.
It's
I
sticking
believe
out.
you. Now I feel bad that I question
No, and you should,
It's
because I
sticking
do,
out
and
of-
it's all
and
fucking
this was,
weird.
when was this? What year was this?
This
This
was
happened?
a few years ago. This was
few
right
years ago.
after Galavant, or this was during Galavant.
Right, during oh, it is.
I
It's
shit you not.
sticking right out.
I took that picture and texted it to Maggie.
The magic of
Magic
believing.
And again, I don't fucking know.
Okay.
But what it
I
comes down
believe
to
it.
is,
I don't think he would pull that. I don't think Timothy would pull the book
I
out
took
and
that
take
picture
a photo
and I
with his
texted to
phone
Mag and went, this
because
is
he's
fucking
fascinated.
weird.
Okay, great.
And she went,
It's
no, it's
shocking.
not. So
All right.
I get the book. It basically came down to, well, I should probably think about what I want to do. And if I could write my own ticket,
What would that ticket
What would
be?
that ticket be? And I was flying back and forth between Vancouver and LA a lot, and so I had a lot of time sitting on planes. And I just started writing it down. And sort of bullet points were, I want to do period piece. I want to do beard. I want to keep my beard because I would always grow a beard in hiatus.
Right.
Because those parts are more fun for me. Kane, Jericho, all the shit. That's stuff I like. Period piece. I want to sing more. I want to sing more. We did a musical episode of Psych.
And that
rekindled rekindled everything. I want to sing more. I want to be on a network show or a premium cable show because Psych was on USA, it was on cable. It was an amazing show that unless you were a cult fan of it, nobody saw it. Industry didn't give a shit. And we did amazing work for 8 years and nobody cared. I want to be number 1 or number 2 on the call sheet. I'm ready. I want this now. And my first job that I auditioned for was Galavant. Period piece, beard. Oh, and it's also, I want to be on something. Here's the hubris. I want to be on something that can win an award. I want to be on something award quality. Period piece, beard, singing, number 2 on the call sheet, network, definitely award quality. Never going to win anything because they're not going to put it up for anything, but certainly should have. And it was all there. And I was like, holy fuck, this is everything I wanted. And I realized I had done it before in my career, twice.
Where you visualized
When I said,
what you wanted, or you
yes, and it's not. So it's
described it?
you visualize it, right? Like basically, it's like any goal in life. What do you want? Well, how are you gonna do that? What are the steps
That's
you're gonna
the
take?
next step of anything.
I'm
I
gonna
want
start
to buy
singing.
a new Toyota. You have to figure out, well, how am I going to
How am I
set
gonna get
aside
that?
that money? I'm going to whatever. I'm
I
just
wanna
saying,
start
anyone
singing.
anywhere is
I'm not
thinking.
a singer. Then start taking fucking singing classes.
Yeah.
So years before, the first third of my career, long hair, beard, got tired of playing Jesus and drug dealers, and was like, I was then maybe 30. It's like, I want to be an adult. I want to be the guy in the suit.
Oh, you want to be a suit wearing?
So I
Shaved
it all off.
and then got Psych.
No, then got
before that.
Judging Amy.
Oh yeah.
And then I was halfway through Judging Amy for 6 years. I was on a show. Like, I was in acting class, and my teacher's like, "What do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to play? Who do you want to be?" I was like, "I've been playing this sweet, floppy-haired social worker for 8 years. I've been playing sweet guys. I want to be the badass with the gun. I'm a fucking hero, bad guy. I want to be the badass with the gun because I never played tough guys." She goes, "Well, then let's work on that." And we started doing those scenes, and we started bringing that stuff into class. Judging Amy ended. And I was like, fuck it. I had, floppy hair. I shaved my head, went down like a number 2s, buzzed my hair. Like, I am somebody different now. That point in my career is over. I'm somebody different now. The next day, I went in for a show called Criminal Minds.
Ooh, and you were in LDSK.
Yes.
Are you the killer in that episode? I haven't seen it.
Yes. So I go in for the part of a crazed ex-Marine.
Ooh, that's
written
great.
As buffed up tattoos, and I do not look like a crazed ex-Marine who's been doing push-ups all his life. Something about what I brought into the room, because he's the fucking psychopath with a gun who kills people with an M16 and then holds everyone hostage. It's because I had been preparing for it without knowing specifically what I was preparing for. The opportunity came, and I was like, oh, I know how to do this. Just like Deadwood.
Because you wanted to do it.
And
you were
I had been
preparing
working on it.
To do it.
And I maybe wasn't doing push-ups, but I was working on that type of stuff in class. And that role started a run of Bad Guys with Guns that just ended on Galavant. It went from that show to, I think Psych was not long after that. Guy who thinks he's fucking Dirty Harry with started with a Glock, then he went to a Colt 45.
Sure.
1911. To in between that, Jericho and Human Target, and that period of my career ended, and then I went, what do I want to do now?
And you did it again.
And it was
You
Galavant.
said this is what
So
I
I
wanna
had
do.
done it without realizing it. And
Did you reach a point, I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you reach a point during that where you thought, oh, now I'm sick of playing the guy with the gun.
yeah.
You were like, I want the beard. I want this. I want.
What do I want to do now? And I don't know what, you go somewhere, it's like, I think I want something like this. So I'm going to grow my beard, and I'm going to grow my hair, and I'm going to start taking singing classes, and I'm going to, a lot of it, just give myself permission to go, yeah, you can be a lead in the show now. And that's a huge, huge difference, because I'm so intensely insecure, like we all are.
We all
But
are,
then
yeah.
to go,
I do want that, and it's
I do
okay
want
that I
this,
want
and
that.
it's okay that
Yeah.
I want that. And I'm going to fucking write that
What
down.
do you want next? I mean, I know that we're in a holding pattern
There's the crux, isn't
because we don't know. I love my job on Grandfathered. You love your job on Galavant. It's not up to us. We'll find out in
Exactly.
2 weeks if we're out of a job or we have jobs we love. So,
it? I don't
do you
know.
do you think about it? Are you thinking about, what might the next incarnation of Timothy Omundson
It's-
be, or
yeah, it's not
are you just
as-
in a holding pattern?
I've started thinking about it. I don't have any specifics yet, and my career's in a different point now, and people will be like, and it took me a while to go like, oh, well, people say, well, you're in a different position now, and you got more juice. I'm like, and I can't ever believe that, but then I'm like, okay, maybe I do. I maybe have a little more power or a little more say for 6 months. I've got a window of opportunity where maybe I could develop something. Maybe I could start that sort of thing. And I think the next phase is I'm totally talking off the top of my head. I may want to produce something that I would be in. I may want to have a say in that. I may want to try and create something myself with other people. And I started thinking that, and then out of the blue, one of these writers that I've known down over the past, who's on a big show right now that's just ending, but he and I have very similar sensibilities, calls me. I was like, let's have breakfast. I'm like, sure, how you doing? And I realized it was not just let's have breakfast, it's let's do something. And I went, it's fucking
Can
crazy.
you say who this person is?
My friend John Steinberg, who created Black Sails and Jericho and is part of this troupe of guys, but we had breakfast, and he's like, my job's ending, and I got 5 years worth of ideas because I haven't been able to do anything else, and let's do something. And I'm like, dude, I fucking thought that yesterday. Not with you specifically, but I thought yesterday, maybe I should do something. A couple days after that, an old friend of mine from college who was in the business as a producer, left the business, coming back into the business. I'm in town from Arizona, let's have breakfast. Great, love to catch up. And it was, what do you want to do? Do you want to develop? Here's 4 stories.
What?
And me just going, where is this coming from? So, now I don't know.
You really think you want to produce? It just
I
seems
don't know.
terrible
I
to
don't,
me. It seems so
no,
hard.
I don't really. I would like to be, it's like in Hamilton, I want to be in the room where it happens. You know, I just want to be a small part of it. I don't have the ego or desire to be a showrunner or I don't write. I'm happy to change other people's dialogue. But I don't want to direct, even though I maybe did for a while, but I look at TV directors and go, that's just fucking hard and thankless. And unless you really have the passion for it or a passion for writing, like every actor asshole has a script. I'm like, I don't, because I have too much respect for what writers and directors do to go, well, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out how I do what I do.
So when you say produce, what you're saying is you just want to have a little bit more input and control over the material that you would be involved with.
Yes.
And it requires you, I mean, it's work.
Yeah.
You're having meetings and talking to people and talking about ideas and where do we go from here, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and
and smart
don't know.
for you to do. You're not saying I'm a writer, you're not saying I'm a director, you're not even saying I'm a producer. You're saying I want to be in on the ground floor of an idea moving forward. That makes me a producer.
I would then be involved in.
Which makes you a producer.
Yeah,
of your own material.
And putting other people's material that I just
No, I
how
mean,
do I ride on the coattails? How do I surround myself with really talented people and ride on their coattails? So we'll see, or maybe not, or maybe I'll get the show will not move. Galavant will not move forward, and I'll get an audition 2 weeks later for something that I find intensely satisfying. And go, well, I'm just going to go do this. I know what I don't want to do.
Which is?
For a very specific example, I don't want to go be the boss to X actress on a Lifetime series. Right, which was a script that was offered to me pre-Galavant.
I don't want to say that again. I
just,
don't want to be the boss
to a certain actress
on a Lifetime
series. A Lifetime from a few years ago. Lifetime's now a different thing. I was like, I don't want to be the 4th, 5th character. I don't want to go be the dad. I don't want to until I have to. Until there's no other opportunities out there. I'm like, fuck it. I'd love to go be the dad.
Right.
But it's also about finding people that I want to work with. You and I have talked in our private life of, I would love to work with you.
I would love to work with you.
And believe me, every day I'm constantly like, what could be something? Oh, we could do that. And
here's the thing. I will say this though, Tim.
yes.
Unless it's a multicam, which is a great way to live.
I know, we talked about this.
It's a great way to live. You work, I don't know what.
doing
You're
one
home
right
by
now.
4 every night. You shoot Tuesday night or Friday night, and that's it. It's live audience. It's great. Single camera, which is what we both shoot, is 14, 15 hours a day, and it's, it's great, and it's a different kind of comedy, and you can do smarter things. You can do longer storylines. I don't know. It's very different from sitcoms. It's just a different language. It's just a difference between French and Inuit. I don't know where that came from.
Way to pull out Inuit.
I only want to be number 3 or 4 or lower on the call sheet if it's single camera, because I want days off.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there at 4:30 a.m. every morning and driving home at 9:30 p.m. every night. I don't want to do it. But multicam I would do. I'll be number 2. You can be number 1.
I don't even need to be number 1. You can be number 1.
Who do we talk to about that? What do we want to do? You're working with Burroughs right now.
I'm doing a guest star on a James Burroughs pilot, and I hadn't really done a multicam. I did Hot in Cleveland last year, but other than that, 15 years, and I've never felt that that's my.
But it's stage. How would that not be your milieu?
Because it feeds into every bad habit I have as an actor. It feeds into every
big stage.
We did a run through in front of an audience Thursday night. I was like, well, fucking thank God we did that, because I was pushing. It was just, I was like, okay, don't do that Tuesday when we tape. It's
interesting.
Yeah, and
did someone say to you you were pushing?
no, I felt it while I was doing it. I now know. I
You know that it
I know
felt
I know how the machine works enough now that, oh yeah, that was fake. That wasn't real. That
Wow,
was
okay.
false.
But that's again, isn't that part of that language, is to not be entirely, I mean, tell me how you do it. Because I just raise the stakes. Because there is a component of multi-camera comedy that has to be bigger.
Absolutely.
It's in front of an audience. It's different from a single camera film shooting type show. So how do you make it big and real, or the level of energy that it requires and real?
Ask me Tuesday.
Because I don't know if I always do it.
I don't know.
I have faked it, and
I
I still love it.
it comes down to, I think, and what I'm trying to remind myself in these scenes, because it's sort of it's a bold character. It's like
It's a pilot. We can't say what it is. We're not going to say what it is.
No, it's great, and there's some really talented people involved, and that I'm just sitting back and going, God, I hope this goes for all of you, and I might recur on it.
Of
if
course
it
you
continues.
would. You know, if
But-
Galavant doesn't come back,
but it's just-
that's the reason why you're just a guest star in this pilot.
Yeah,
is they
no.
can't have you
Yeah.
because you're waiting to find out about
And-
Galavant. So if
and-
this goes, they're gonna pull you
It'll
in.
work. I'm sure it would recur.
I know they will.
And but it's sort of a Richard Branson sort of
Oh,
guy. So it's great. I mean, which we changed because they were kind enough changed. It was a sort of a tough CEO with the gag is he's actually terrified of his mother. But I'm like, I don't look like a tough CEO. So because they had to keep this. And
Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can't get rid of it. So
so
you end up being like a Richard Branson.
So, yeah, so
Are you
we
a
made him
playboy,
just sort of-
like
yeah,
worldly,
that's exactly it.
super rich,
That's
powerful?
exactly
Everyone's
what it is.
And then you're afraid of your mom.
I'm a billionaire who's like, hey, mom.
Oh,
You know,
that's great.
So that's the
That's
gag.
a great part.
It's really fun. But it comes down to, I've just got to keep reminding myself, listen to him. Listen to the kid I'm working with. Fucking listen. And it's the most basic of acting rules. That is the first one to go out the door for me.
Oh, when you mean in a multicam formula,
Yeah.
format, when you are performing in front
Yeah.
of an audience, you tend to start thinking before
I'm
instead of
already
just
thinking of
being
how
there
the-
and listening.
Yeah, what the funny bit
and
I'm
that's a
gonna
bad
do.
habit.
Yeah.
That's a bad habit.
And so it's fighting all my bad habits. And that's why I'm much more comfortable in single camera comedy. Because also you can do it over and over and over, and you can refine it and mine the funny.
I know. There's a lot of benefits to it. I'm not gonna lie. And I do. Here's the thing: if Galavant doesn't go, and this show doesn't go, and they don't take you with them, would you consider? We are hoping, Thrilling Adventure, Agger and Blagger, and Paul F. Tompkins and I are hoping that we can make Beyond Belief a television show. If we can't get you for that.
Do you remember really the second time we met was at a stage reading?
Oh yeah, UCB.
Yes, for the Beyond
pilot
Belief
that they
TV
wrote.
show.
Yeah, that was the second time we met.
I think so, because it was right after I'd done one of the
Jeez.
first Thrilling Adventure Hours.
Yeah.
Because I did that
It was
first.
so nice of you to do that with us, because it was a pitch. We
I
were
did
trying
that-
to
here's the other
present
thing.
it in front of people as a possibility for a TV show.
Here is how I've tried to live my career. Yes. Always say yes. Unless there's
Oh.
something really a reason to say no, I always say yes, because work begets work and relationships.
I agree.
And
you learn something, and you meet someone, and you go somewhere, and it's always, I agree.
And it's gonna make me a better actor to be around actors who are better. I mean, it's always like feels like adore your work. I didn't know you as a human being, so I didn't adore you yet as a human being. But I adored your work. It's like, of course I want to go be around that. I want to be around that. And like Paul is a genius.
He's great. He's brilliant.
And
Yeah.
it's like, I you know my affinity for those characters. I named my
Yes,
I named my
you're
daughter
a
Nora
Nick and Nora
after,
fan,
after
yeah,
Myrna
so
Loy.
you love the-
It's Thin Man's one of my favorite
Exactly.
movies. So of course I'm going to be involved with that.
And you're great at it. And it satisfies a live performance.
Yeah.
that when you perform with Thrilling Adventure, of which you are now sort of like, you're a company member basically.
Nothing makes me proud.
Want you every single time, and the only time we can't is when you're shooting Galavant. We can't get you. You're great at it.
First time, I emailed Packer and literally said, "Put me in, coach, anytime, anywhere," because why would it's tremendous. I put out a tweet the other day on someone, Thrilling Adventurer put out a tweet for that show we did, and my response was, "Nothing makes me happier than sharing the stage with these people." It's true.
I love doing it.
So yeah,
too.
I would love to.
So if Grandfather doesn't go, and Galavant doesn't go, and you're not picked up by this pilot, if that pilot doesn't go, and then and Beyond Belief doesn't sell. Hold on. Because you'll be with us in Beyond Belief if we can make that a show. You'll be like Count Desmond, the head of the vampires, or something. You know you're gonna be like a great. We want to play a villain or a good guy? What do you want to do? You want to play a hobo? You want to be Bobo the hobo?
I'll do whatever you guys want.
Okay, we'll go through the cast list and figure out what you want to play next, because I trust in your ability with the power to believe. I'm gonna ask you to text me that photo that you took of that book, because I think I'm going to read it.
Look, I know it sounds ridiculous.
All of this
bullshit.
No, I believe you now. I think you made a great case for it. I want that book. I want to read that book.
But you don't even need to read the book. I mean,
no, because I don't focus my thoughts properly, and I'm trying to do it now, which is if all of these things do not come to pass, then I would like to be number 2 on the call sheet for a multicam where we get to be sassy at each other, and I kind of like playing a bitch. Maybe we could both be like bitchy. I don't know, but you be number 1, I'll be number 2. You produce it. I can't take the headache.
I don't want to produce that.
I just want to drive home.
Okay.
We'll talk to Fogelman, see if he'll be up for it, but it has to be multicam. Has he done multicam? He's done multicam.
I think he has. But we know enough people.
You know what? We'll talk to other people. We'll talk to whoever wants to do.
We know enough people have done multicam.
Okay, that is my hope for the future, and now I need to get that book. And I think we've covered everything I had notes on. Is there anything you feel you want to clarify? Did I trap you into saying anything terrible? Have you ever murdered a man?
Not that I'm going to admit here.
Have you ever fooled around with Shirley MacLaine or anyone really shocking?
Not that I'm going to admit here.
Joan Collins. I'm going with older lady.
Previous statement, counselor. Asked and answered, counselor.
What? Did you just say yes? Did he say yes?
No, I said asked and answered.
All right. Thank you very much for joining me. Oh, look, I've been leaning on my microphone the whole time. I'm Paget Brewster. This is Timothy Omundson. Right. Kevin Pollak, we hope you're having a wonderful time in Florida. Where is he?
I'm going to say it. I'm glad he wasn't here, because this was delightful.
This was really fun, and I really appreciate everyone here. Wait, I need everyone's names, Jason. I don't have everyone's names. Who's part of the team here? Kenny Chen. Thank you so much. He's right behind the camera.
Thanks, Kenny.
Brad Register. Samantha Ward.
And me.
And Jason, the last name's already gone. McIntosh?
McIntyre.
Jason McIntyre.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for helping us make this show, and I filled in, and no one's as good as Kevin Pollak. So next time you will get Kevin Pollak. Right? He's back, right? Okay, good.